Hello everyone, this is Giovanni Vallone. I am inside the car because it's very windy outside. I am not in Sicily. This is not a Sicilian landscape. We are in Ireland. I am in Ireland on behalf of Italian Public Network and of Smashing Sicily. We will let you know that there are a lot of connections between Ireland and Sicily, and we will let you know. This is the gorgeous Beara Peninsula, West Cork. So let's begin with this episode of the Cannolo report. Usually is presented by Giovanna Battaglia, and Giovanna Battaglia has an English language better than mine, but now today there is me. So let's begin. As usual, Sicilians from all over the world brought to us in order to go in search of their roots. And above all, they ask us to go looking for their relatives here in Sicily. And as usual, our cultural department mobilized to make their dream come true. Among others, the nice Philip Licari brought us from New York, and now, in addition to organizing his family's trip, we are looking for some of his relatives in the municipality of San Giuseppe Jato in Palermo province. We will soon tell you about this nice story. Sicily is beautiful not only in the surface but also underneath its sea. Let's take a walk with Raimondo Azzori, who takes us to the depths of Custonaci, western Sicily. They are beautiful images that speak for themselves. And when you go underwater here in Sicily, it is easy to discover some finds from the past, amphora, coins, columns of temples. Sicily is a history book, even underwater, where millenary finds coexist with Mediterranean flora and fauna. One of the most beautiful experiences to live here in Sicily is to walk in settlements of the past, and bring a nice Sicilian picnic with cheese, olives, salami, bread, and an orange. And in the meantime, collect pieces of the past. A bit like underwater, even on the surface, Sicily is rich in finds of the past. In this image at Entella, we found a loom weight of the 3rd century before Christ. It is my greatest passion, and when I have some time available, I do not miss the opportunity to have a nice picnic between landscape, nature, and history. Here we are with the Truppe Longane, a city of the 6th century before Christ, with a breathtaking view of the Aeolian Islands. There are many places in Sicily that allow this type of adventure. As usual, contact us and we will provide you with a list of these places and all the info you need to enjoy this kind of adventure.
There is a magical place in Sicily, suspended between the prickly pears, the Mediterranean Sea, and the huge shape of Etna, to watch from the top of its 3,300 meters height. It is called Caffè Montevenere, and it's a cafe that no longer exists. It is in the road that connects Taormina, the pearl of Sicily, with the countryside of Castelmola, where many wealthy foreigners have been vacationing since the 1800s. Many were French, and even today the district is called Afrancisa. Caffè Montevenere was a mandatory stop for aristocrats and tourists who crowded Taormina yesterday as today. We entered the path that lead to the cafe, with a breathtaking view. Scent of Sicily, scent of sun, thyme, blue sky and clear sea. Imagine the carriages and mules that accompany customers up here. A great frequenter of Caffè Montevenere was Frida, the wife of the writer Herbert Lawrence. They came to Taormina because the English writer was suffering from tuberculosis, and Taormina was said to be an excellent place to cure it, thanks to its healthier hair. Here is why Frida was accompanied by the mule driver, who later became her lover. And she told her adventures to her husband, who drew the masterpiece, Lady Shirley's Lover. They were the best-selling cheating story in history. And this cafe witnessed it. Like many gays, playboys, beautiful women, and intellectuals from all over the world who lived in the splendid Sicilian city. Here we are. This must have been the entrance, or perhaps the kitchen. The tiles are beautiful. The view is sensational. This is the tank. That was the bedroom. How exciting. Here's the real cafe. It was on 2 floors. Here's the main room. Let's imagine chairs and tables, orange juice with Sicilian oranges, almond paste, cannoli and cassate. Let's imagine one of the many picturesque travelers who drew this enchanting panorama in front of him. If you come to Taormina, take a walk up here, and then even higher if you want, up to Monte Veneretta. Venere, translated into English, is Venus, the goddess of love, beauty and pleasure. Perhaps there was a temple up here dedicated to her. Certainly, Taormina has always honored her name. Weather forecast mostly sunny on the whole island, with some rare precipitation. Temperatures between 18 and 11 degrees in coastal areas, with peaks of even 20 degrees. The sun rises around 6:40 and sets around 5:50 p.m. And let's talk about the feast in Sicily, an island where you don't miss an opportunity to leave the houses and celebrate something or someone. In Novara di Sicilia, a charming town suspended between the sea and the woods, throughout the weekends of the month, a curious race takes place in the streets of the town, in which the main character is a cheese wheel, the Mallorquino. This singular tournament consists of rolling the Mallorquino along a path that leads for more than 2 kilometers along the narrow streets of the town. And in the end, ricotta, wine and macaroni for everyone. From February 28th, one of the most beautiful festivals in the world, the Almond Blossom Festival in Agrigento, the city of the Valley of the Temples.
Buongiorno, sono Marcello Mira di Visit Agrigento. Oggi ci troviamo.
Hi everyone, I am Marcello Mira, President of Visit Agrigento. The Almond Blossom Festival will take place in the city of Empedocli from February 28 until March 8, with folk groups from all over the world, and which has its main stage in the Valley of the Temples, UNESCO World Heritage Site. We are waiting for you for one of the most beautiful feasts in the world.
On March 1st, Corleone celebrates with San Leoluca.
One day San Leoluca, together with other friars of the convent, went to collect wood. When was the time to come back to the convent, he noticed that the friars had already left. Then he loaded all the wood he could on his shoulders, with the rest of the wood which, miraculously, followed him. This prodigy is remembered by the Luminiana, a huge bonfire.
In Palermo until March 29, the exhibition of the Palermo painter Nicola Pucci, and his fantasy world. Pergolesi serva padrona di theater Massimo in Palermo until March 1st, and Giuseppe Verdi Opera's Falstaff until February 27. George Bizet's Carmen at the Bellini Theater in Catania. For any information, do not hesitate to contact our cultural department. We are available to all the world for anyone who desires Sicily. This is our mission. Isola Salina, or Didime, which in Greek means twins, because when the Greeks arrived in these parts, in the distance the island of Salina seemed to them two islands. The two inactive volcanoes that characterize the island are actually united by a piece of land. This is the beautiful nature reserve of the Erminio River, western Sicily, an ideal place to take a bath and enjoy the Mediterranean nature. And here is the Cathedral of Noto, UNESCO Heritage City for the Barocchi. The spectacular Sicilian Barocchi certainly exalts itself in the city of Eastern Sicily. We remember that the Barocchi of Eastern Sicily was born as a reconstruction following the catastrophic earthquake of 1693. In spite of the evidence, the Sicilians built sumptuous buildings, almost as if they wanted to challenge nature. And in Eastern Sicily, the Barocchi, unique in the world, stands out for an excessive elaboration of volumes and forms.
I am in Bantry, Ireland. West Cork is a beautiful town, Bantry. On my back there is this one is Saint Brendan, and there is a connection between Sicily and Saint Brendan. Brendan, that in Sicily is for Blandano. We will let you know. Sicily is a land of culture and monuments, and occupies the first place in Italy in terms of visits to archaeological or museum sites. Do you think that among the top 10 most visited cultural sites in Italy, 3 are in Sicily? The Valley of the Temples of Agrigento, the ancient theater of Taormina, and the archaeological site in Syracuse. It's still ongoing, the eruption of Etna volcano. As you can see from this webcam, during the night you can enjoy the amazing show of this snake of fire above the sky. Even the moon seems to enjoy the eruption behind the fire. Instead, in Stromboli everything is quiet. Stromboli is one of the Aeolian Islands, well known for its volcano that is active, as well as Etna, but very close to the inhabited parts of Stromboli. On this live webcam you can see the typical black sandy beach due to the lava ground, and in front the big rock of Strombolicchio.
On February 26, 1154, Ruggero II of Sicily, whose tomb is located in the Cathedral of Palermo, dies in Palermo. He had the merit to rule wisely and constituted the Sicilian Parliament, one of the oldest in the world. He also remains famous for his great passion for Arab art in general, and surrounded himself with Arab poets, artists, and architects. He was responsible for Al-Idris's description of Sicily, who created a sort of travel guide on behalf of King Ruggero. And above all, he was the great creator of one of the most beautiful masterpieces of humanity, the so-called Arab Norman art, of which Palermo still retains splendor. One above all, the amazing Palatine Chapel. On March 8, 1669, Etna sets off a terrifying eruption that within 4 months of this extinct crater, the Monti Rossi, at about 600 meters above sea level, reached the Sea of Catania, destroying much of the city. This is the fantastic fresco by Giacinto Platania, who lived in those years. In this exceptional video from the Luigi Institute of 1938, we see the Sicilians gathering the leaves of the agave. We are close to today's Acquedolci, where once there was a famous inn that has hosted travelers since Roman times. This one is with bare hands. The thorns do nothing, calluses to no end. Here are the women who carried anything with your heads. Real balancing act. Then these leaves were cut, washed, and dried, and gave some income to the Sicilians, but not enough to prevent them from emigrating anyway. A povertà non è vergogna, ma manco preo, which means poverty is not a shame, but not even a quality. Here are 2 cart drivers who until not many years ago transported fruit and vegetables from one town to another, but often they were also used as real postmen and delivered other goods or whatever was asked them. They talked to their mules, had painted carts, and were occasionally stopped by bandits. Entering into the museum, I immediately saw her at the end of a room, and as beautiful as I imagined her. She has no head, she has an arm missing. Never, however, the human form has never seemed more wonderful and seductive to me. It is the woman as she is, as we love her, as we want her, as we want to tighten her. And the marble is alive. You would like to touch it with the certainty that it will yield under your hand like flesh. The Venus of Siracusa is the perfect expression of powerful, healthy, and simple beauty. He has no head. And what does it matter? The symbol has not become more complete. It is a woman's body that expresses all the authentic poetry of caresses. It is divine, not because it expresses a thought, but simply because it is beautiful.
We are at the end of this episode of the Cannolo Report. I am inside the Catholic Church here in Bantry. There is also a Presbyterian church in the square. This is a nice church with many typical painted windows. Every day I feel good in a church. I come often just to read a book, but we are at the end of the Cannolo Report, so let's see what we will broadcast next week. Wednesday, February 26th, for the show Run in Sicily, we will running the beautiful Vendicari Nature Reserve. There will be to see and love. Monday, March 2nd, the radio will broadcast an episode dedicated to Patrick Brydon's trip to Sicily in 1770. Wednesday, March 4th, for inspiring landscapes, we will visit 2 splendid naturalistic places, Caporama and the Channel River. The next appointment with the Cannolo Report is in 2 weeks, Sunday, March 8th. Have a nice Sicily and a nice life.